welcome to Recipe Remix. Today I'm going to show you how to make my homemade pumpkin bread, which is very fast and easy. You can do it with your kids. It's a lot of fun for them too. And I just want to let you know that this recipe was actually originally from a friend of my mother's. And I've since tweaked it to make it a healthier version without the butter and the shortening. So instead I've substituted it with vegetable oil. So you want to preset the oven to 325, okay, about 15 minutes before you start. So what we're going to do is mix all the dry ingredients first and then the wet ingredients, and then we'll combine the two. Alright, so 3½ cups of all-purpose flour, just pour into a mixing bowl. Followed by 3 cups of sugar. Now, if those of you who are diabetic, you can substitute with Splenda or any sweetener of your choice, applesauce or whatever works for you best. So in this case, we're going to use just regular sugar. You want to pour that in with the flour. And then just kind of give it a gentle mix. So what it is we're actually mixing all the dry ingredients in one mixing bowl, followed by the 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of allspice, and 2 teaspoons of ground cloves. And then again, mix it in well. You can also use a whisk if you prefer. So make sure it's very well mixed with all the spices. It smells fantastic already. And pumpkin is a great source of beta-carotene and vitamin A. And the reason why I use canned pumpkin is it's faster. You don't have to go through the hassle of getting a real pumpkin and cooking it and steaming it and then taking the skin and the seeds off. So canned pumpkin is a much more convenient way to make this bread. So I've mixed in the eggs with the canned pumpkin. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of water and then 1 cup of vegetable oil. The oil will keep the bread nice and moist. Again, give it a good stir to make sure that it's further taken down into a very moist mixture. And there you go. This is the consistency that you want. Next, I tweaked it in that I prefer adding raisins to my pumpkin bread, but of course you can add any dried fruit of your choice, cranberries or whatever you prefer. So I think raisin and pumpkin actually make a very good combination, and raisin will actually add a slight sweetness to this pumpkin bread in addition to the sugar. So that was 1 cup of raisins. Give it a good stir to make sure that it's well mixed. And again, I have tweaked it to add chopped walnuts in my pumpkin bread, but you can use pecans or any type of nut of your choice. I mean, the key here is to remix these recipes according to what you personally like. So I can assure you the original recipe that I learned for this pumpkin bread did not include raisins and walnuts, and instead it had pecans and cranberries. So 1 cup of chopped walnuts, and that's it for our ingredients for this pumpkin bread. So this is what the liquid mixture will look like after combining everything. Now we bring back the dry ingredients that we mixed earlier on, and we add this liquid mixture, pumpkin mixture, into the dry flour and spices mixture. As you can see, it's really very easy. And again, I'm sure kids, if you have any kids at home, they would love to help with this recipe. Just try to scrape every last bit of pumpkin in there. Usually a can of pumpkin in your grocery store is 2 cups of pumpkin, so you don't really need to open another can. So 1 can of pumpkin will do the trick. Now we combine the wet and the dry ingredients, and this is the part where you really need to make sure that it's mixed well. A lot of the flour tends to settle in the bottom of the mixing bowl, so make sure you get right to the bottom and scrape it up and mix it in with the wet ingredients. Just scrape off the sides of the bowls. And usually I find that all these ingredients are good for about 4 regular size loaf pans. So each time you make this, you can make 4 loaves of pumpkin bread at once, which is great. The rest of it you can store in the freezer, and I can assure you that it tastes just as good as freshly baked when you take it out. And there you go. That's the batter. Now we're gonna bring over the loaf pans. I have 4 aluminum loaf pans, and you can buy these again at your local grocery store. And I want to fill them as equally as possible. So I'm going to start pouring here. Say pour it about halfway. You can always come back and add more, just to make sure that you have enough for the other loaves. And there you have 4 ready to be put in the oven pumpkin loaves. So as I said earlier, you want to preheat your oven to 325. And now we're going to stick them in the oven for 1.5 hours. So you may want to, I know it's a long time, therefore you may want to have a timer, set a timer. That way you can go and do your laundry, do your other things, and then the timer will ring when it's 1.5 hours. And I usually set the rack right in the middle. Not too high, not too low. And just space them equally apart. And there you go. You shut the oven door, and I'm going to set my timer for 1.5 hours. Thank you, and we'll look forward to taking those loaves out in a short little while. Hello everyone, welcome back to Recipe Remix. 1.5 hours has elapsed, so let's check on our pumpkin loaves that we put in the oven earlier. Oh my goodness! Look how perfectly gorgeous these pumpkin loaves turned out. And I wish you could smell the aroma, ladies and gentlemen. All the spices that we put in, the cloves, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the allspice. Boy, it just smells fantastic. Wow-wee, look at these. So let's turn off our oven. Now, wasn't that so easy? And I'm just going to take a loaf and slice it, just so you get to see the insides. And voila! Look at how pretty this looks. And you can have it for breakfast, just toast it, put some butter on it. You don't even need jam because it's so flavorful with all the spices. And you can have it in the afternoon with a cup of tea or coffee, or even have it as a dessert. Serve it with some whipped cream or vanilla ice cream. Goes with everything. The key is to remix the recipe and tweak it so that you personalize it and tailor-make it based to your own preferences. So today we made the homemade pumpkin loaf. Thank you for watching.